Good evening and welcome to Black Business Recommendation.
Good evening,
Let's
everybody.
talk live stream. We are back and we're happy to be back. So tonight we have a very special guest. She's been here before, and because of the seriousness of what she talks about, it's important that we keep on sharing that and to give you the information that you require. Now, this person is a money mindset coach, as well as a qualified insurance advisor. So she's regulated, but I can't remember the regulation group, but I'll ask
FCA.
her. FCA.
Yeah,
so that is
regulated.
the group that states someone is regulated to actually qualify to actually give you insurance information from all insurance providers.
Yeah.
So today, without further ado, I bid you that this is Miss Charlene
Hibbert.
Hibbert.
Or Char Hibbert.
Char. Yeah, she's asked us to
Hey,
call her Char. Hey, Char, how you doing?
Good evening, darling.
I'm good. Thanks.
Oh, you're there. Excellent. I know we've had some issues. Yeah, I know there's a little bit, sometimes some issues, so bear with us.
Sometimes it lags.
Yeah,
so.
but how are you, Char?
Yes, I'm wonderful. I'm great, and I'm glad to be back. Thanks for having me.
That's lovely wonderful. To have you back with us. Lovely to have you back.
So first and foremost, give us the information about who you are and what you do. Because I mean, we've been here before, but for those who've never been here to hear you, I think it's important that they get to know who the person who's providing the information to them is. Of course. Over to you.
I totally agree. Hi, everybody. I am the founder of She's All About the Money, and She's All About Money is a platform that I created to empower more women to have a better relationship with their money. And my platform really is about, building better income streams, understand how money works, thinking about your long-term plans around money, not just for here and now. And also FCA regulated to provide advice and recommendations on insurance products as well, life cover.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's brilliant.
So what does FCA mean?
FCA, Financial Conduct Authority. So Financial Conduct Authority is basically the body that protects and makes sure that whatever we put in place as an insurance advisor, as anybody who's giving you advice and recommendations on a financial product, is ensuring that you are protected, your information is protected, and you're not being put in a situation where you're unable to afford the product you're taking out. So it keeps you essentially and protected in all the process of what's happening.
Okay.
Brilliant.
So how long have you been doing this? Because I'm going to ask you, these are questions we've asked before, but again,
just in case, for those who do not know you.
Okay, well, this question doesn't really have any benefit to how long I've been doing it. It's only been 1 year, but what I know and the information that I can share with you is probably just the same as. So it's about my passion for what I do, and the quality of what I do is what's most important.
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
I mean, you're qualified. You've actually provided that information for people who are on the cusp of making a decision to get insurance and so on. So what we have received from you, a lot of people have actually stated that it's been really good advice because they didn't know what was in terms of insurance. So, I think it's important that we just carry on that vein.
Yeah. But before we get there, I think the other side was to start with how the partner can, how you can save, by using a partner.
Because
let's just start with that, and then we can go on to the main one, which I think everybody will be quite interested in.
Definitely.
So how can we save with a partner?
Well, obviously, many of you may be familiar with a partner system where someone's playing banker, and a group of people come together saving towards the same goal. And each month, everyone gets a turn to receive what we call the hand. And I've partnered with an organisation called Stepladder, who's created what they call the circle, and works very much off that model, as you know, as the partner. And it's just giving opportunity of people to come together and reaching their saving goals. And the main benefit of the fact of not doing it on your own, sometimes saving on your own can be daunting, can be boring. You may not have that consistency and that discipline to do it on your own. So being part of a partner or circle helps you to stay within that, and also have the support from others as well to stay on track. So the circle is what I offer and what I call them. So I refer to it from a circle from here on. And as I said, it allows people to come together and save toward a same goal. So I have different circles of people that are grouped together under She's All About Money circles, and they're all saving towards either £500, £1,000 over a certain amount of months. And each person's randomly selected each month to receive their hand. The benefit of doing it this way rather than just an informal partner is that you're protected. It means, again, like I said about the FCA, it means that by doing it this way, your money's protected. So whatever you put in, you will definitely receive back out of the partner, the circle. It means that if someone wants to drop out, it means that they have systems in place under Stepladder to ensure that the additional funds is put back into that circle in particular, so everyone receives their hand. And it also gives you opportunities to have other incentives as well. So being part of my circle, you have an option to have a discovery call with me talking about what are you going to do with that money when you actually get your hand. Yeah, let's talk about that before it comes. So pre-planning, like I discussed last time.
You know, that's very good.
Yeah, you just receive it and just gone in a second, you know, before
exactly.
in your mind. So that discovery call kind of helps you to stay on track. What is your purpose with this money? And what can it help you do? You may not have any ideas. I may be able to assist you with some ideas on what you can do. And also you have access to my Money Boss Queen community membership. You have 1 month's free access to my groups, my seminar on each month, and my Facebook Live private group for my members only. So you have the access to try it out. And if you want to stay with us and get that support and accountability from me towards your goals, you can do that. And you also receive a £10 gift voucher, Amazon voucher. And the fee is also only £3. So if you imagine, you know, £3 on top of what you're paying per month. You know, in the informal partners, you usually have the banker takes a little bit more on top, so they, you know, they get something out of it for holding the money paying. So just think it in that sense, it's only £3 that you're paying additional per month. So yeah, that's pretty much how the circle works. Okay, so you spoke about guarantee. I mean, from my understanding of guarantee, let's just say, what's the maximum guarantee that someone can be insured for? Because I'm thinking large in terms of someone who wants to put in, you know, a couple of people who want to put in a large amount of money. So where would the insurance liability or the protection stop at? I mean, I understand that if you've got a bank account and you lose money, you know, you can get up to £85,000. Is that what is the kind of drop off where the insurance? Yeah, so with this, it's a matter of whatever you put in, you're guaranteed to receive out. So most of these circles that are run are not going to be a large amount like you just described there, 8,000. It might not be that. And the circles that are created under Stepladder, it could be for many different amounts. Some people can just go online and generically look and see how much they're trying to save, how much they can afford to save. So that affordability as well. And it may match you to other groups of people who are looking to save a similar amount. However, my circles that I create is really about assisting people to start to save, get in the rhythm of saving, and also just having that additional change available when they want to, you know, do certain things, looking at credit options. So that's what mine are creating. So that's why mine's looking at 500, that £1,000, that sort of region. So you up it. Your question is that if you put that in, then that's what you're guaranteed to get back out.
Right. Okay. So in terms of the helping everybody, it would be when your hand comes or your turn comes, instead of actually just using that money straight away, whether it is to pay a bill or whatever, you would actually help them plan before they actually gets to their turn, how to save a little bit of that money or how to actually structure, utilize it,
invest it again.
Exactly. You may decide you want to invest it again. You may decide you want to join another circle with a bigger amount with that money to assist you. You know, you may decide that there's something you want to help you to get towards stepping into buying property. It may help you paying off a bit of debt, credit card, for example. It may even help you thinking about arranging an emergency fund. That's quite important to have. So it's really about looking at the individual circumstance. Each is different for each person. So it depends on where you're at, where your priorities discussed before.
Where your priorities are. Oh, okay. And what is the turnaround? So you mean how long was the period before you, each time?
So each one could be set up for any amount. So the circles that I've done so far, I've done them all for 10 months. That seems like a nice region in between. 6 months short, so you have to put a bigger amount, and 12 months feels too long. There's almost like that 10 months is like in between. So again, change depends on what circle you join, but at the moment the circles that I have to join are for 10 months. So you're guaranteed
10-month cycle.
Your amount within that period.
Yeah.
So you delaying there a bit.
Okay.
Yeah, the delay there, and yeah, but they're kind of losing you a little bit, Char. I don't know, but we'll persevere anyway.
We'll persevere. So my question, I've put in £100 a month, 10 months, £1,000. In back,
correct,
or am I, put in that money and I might get it in 4 months rather than 10 months? Is that how we're doing it?
So the 10-month period means that up to 10 months is in your hand, depending on what month. So you could be on month 2, you could be at month, you could start it and get yours in month 1. It depends on what month you are chosen to receive your hand. It means that every single month, 10 exactly. So there's 10 people, 10 months.
Losing you there, Char.
Sorry,
sorry everyone. Yeah, we
just lost you there, Char. So you were saying from the first month to the 10th month. Okay, so Char's gone and hopefully he'll be back soon. But with a partner, it is about you paying. You're guaranteeing that you're paying your share, which is 10 months. You may receive your money before that time, but you end your payment as in 10th month. Then you restart again. Am I correct? Is that the way it goes?
Yes, so within 10 months, each person, so let's say Sally, Jessica, I can't forget 10 names, but all of them in a row.
All of them, 10 people.
10 people come together, and then each month, they've all put every single month, every single month, their direct debit is set up. So every single month, they'll all put in £103, for example, for every 10 months. So each month, one person selected to receive that whole amount, which is £1,000, because 10 people are putting 100 each. And the £3. So
the £3 is
the extra for the calculation of what to do and
right. Okay. Yeah, I'm just making sure that everybody gets that, Char, because obviously our connection is a little bit choppy. So I don't want anyone missing out on the vital information that you're sharing with us. Okay. So yeah, I think that's clear for everybody. I think a lot of people do know how it works, but it's more the aspect of how you can help them save a little bit more of their turn rather than just spending all of it. So that's just one way. I think that the one that is really important to us that we really want to share with everybody, Char, is about the insurance.
Yeah, but before we do that on the insurance, Char, can you then give people the information about joining the circle, because that's very important. So have we got it? Can we put it up?
Oh, I think we can. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. People, bear with us for a moment.
Oh, yeah. You can share that, Char. I'll just put it up here for everyone.
So the information is about to be shared. If you just click on that, it will take you to the apply page, and then you just get the information on how the circle works, and then you just literally put your information through like an application. And once you've done that application, it's going to ask you questions about yourself, your affordability, how much you want to be saving. So you then identify which circle you want to join, whether it's £100 per month or the £50 a month. And then it will join you up with the other people that I have ready to start that circle. So they start at different periods of the month. So of the year. So I've just had one recently start, and I've got another 2 start in July and August. So you choose which one you line yourself up into. So once you've done that section, you're then going to go through a process of answering a few basic questions, but it's just to make sure that you show your understanding of what you're signing up for. They'll ask you about, how the basics of a circle, which is a basics of a partner. What is it? How does it work? How are you going to? What are you going to gain from this? Is it gambling? Are you borrowing money? It's just asking you just to clarify. You know what you're doing, you know what you're signing up for. Again, it's that protection, as I mentioned earlier. And then once you pass that, you're good to go. You're signed up and you're ready to join in the circle, and then you will then receive your information to have your invite to the monthly members session of my Money Boss Queen community. So then you'll enter into my sessions and you can come on to the seminars and also be part of my Facebook group private Q&A sessions as well that I hold monthly. And then I also will send you a link to book your discovery call as well.
Brilliant. That's
All right.
That's wonderful.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. We are now in the position now to be talking about insurance. And that was one of the key elements because...
Well, I think it's a minefield myself.
Yeah, because do we actually know what insurance you've got?
Yeah.
So, Char, we're going to open the door. We're going to open the door to you, and I'm going to say that right now, if I start off by saying, when I first thought about insurance, it was during the COVID, like the beginning kind of stages, and I was thinking, I'm smoking. I've gone to the insurance to check, and they told me my price is different from someone who's not smoking. They said to me, after a year of not smoking, I can come back and review my insurance policy. So I joined, and 15 months later, I'm no longer smoking.
Exactly.
But I need to go back to them to review my insurance policy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because mine might be paying too much at the moment. But happy to do so because I am insured. But now comes the point of, what insurance did I get? And this is where you're coming in to support. What insurance do we get as people who are just a layperson thinking we're just getting an insurance for life insurance and then that's it? What types of insurance are there? Yeah, so I'm sorry I'm giving kind of a large sort of question, but I'm opening the door.
Well, let's just start with that. So basically, are we on the right pack? Are we on the right one? Because we can have them, but we don't know which one we should be on. So
which are...
We're opening the door for you. And
what insurances
are available? Now, are we all on the right ones?
Yes, that is such a broad question.
Good.
I'm going to leave you to it. We'll break it down as we go.
Any way you want to. Yeah. So
it's going to be yes and no for every individual because we're all different, right? And I think that's the most important thing is that someone thinks that the general blogs, the general, Joe blogs, thinks can just go online and click on compare the comparison sites and compare the market and find the cheapest quote and he's fine. Which, like you just now described, all those questions you ask there is going to depend on your individual circumstance, and that's why it's so much important to go through the process with an insurance advisor, because what may be for you may not be for Lorraine. So it's about looking at your own individual circumstances. And when I'm saying that, I'm talking about, are you a smoker? Do you have any health conditions, pre-existing health conditions? Anything hereditary in the family is going to impact your policy? Are you thinking about now for the policy to affect the children that you have, or are you going to have children in the future? All these things will have an impact on your policy. Are you overweight? All of that. So these are questions that as an insurance advisor, we kind of break down and we go through together. We really break down, what are we hoping this money is going to do? Where are you now? And, where are you hoping to be? What kind of situations you see for your family in the future? Who are your beneficiaries? Who are you leaving this money behind for? So all of this will definitely think about the different type of range of premiums and products that's available to you.
Okay. Wow.
1 minute. I don't want to leave the money for the family. I want to get some. No. What do I have to do? What is that kind of insurance where I get some of that money while I'm still alive? Yeah. So what kind of insurance will be covering that for accidents and accidents and so on?
Often people do just assume, it's just for the family when I'm gone, which is good because we need to be thinking of that more. Generational wealth.
Yeah.
Yes.
Putting into money, we need to be putting these systems in place. So yes, that's. But as you just said there, yes, there is insurances where you can benefit while you're still here. And that's something referred to as critical illness cover. The critical illness cover is where you have a lump sum paid out to you if you're diagnosed with a critical illness. So this is separate from the money that will be paid out to your beneficiaries when you pass away under the life cover. This is additional funds separate to that. So we have what's called the life and the critical. So you have two sums of money working together for different purposes. And it's important to mention that because some people have life or critical. And life or critical.
I did see that.
What's that
life
now?
Or critical.
Good question. So life or critical means exactly that. It means if you use the money for that critical illness because you've been diagnosed with critical illness and that's what you've been told, you can use it. You then access your lump sum of money. It then ends. The policy then is void. There's no life cover.
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
So that's life or critical. However, life and critical means you have two policies working hand in hand. You have the life cover, which lasts for as long as you put it in place, whether it's whole of life or term insurance, which I'll come to in a moment, but your life, yeah? And then you also have the critical illness cover, which if you was diagnosed with critical illness up to when the term of that critical illness ends, you have access to a lump sum. So they work separately, but side by side.
Right.
Okay. Wow.
So just saying, you know what, I think I need to just take out life cover. It's not really as simple as that, because you can take out life cover, but I suppose some people are still thinking, well, okay, if I take out life cover, that means that covers me for any eventuality. If I fall ill, you know, if I pass away. But you're saying it's slightly different.
Yeah, some people do assume what you just said there. If I was unwell. So if I become unwell, it's a different product altogether. That's what we refer to as income protection. So income protection gives you a monthly payout per month. If you was signed off sick, you have to be signed off sick for a period of time due to illness, prolonged illness, or accident, for example. Yeah. And some people may think, you know, oh, is that really necessary? But little do people know that up to 1 million people are unexpectedly signed off work due to an unexpected injury.
COVID.
So that's something that you
whatever. Yeah.
So that shows you how important it is. Within that time, you don't have to be rushing back to work because you can't afford to be off sick. You can have your monthly benefit paying you every month as if on top of your sick pay. So monthly benefit.
So how long is that? How long would that period be for?
Yeah.
I mean,
so yeah, you can
like statutes.
So you can sign up for different versions, but you can have them between 1 to 2 years. Usually, is the general period. 1 to 2 years period that is being paid out for. However, there's no how much times that you can claim on an income protection. Where if life cover, once you claim, it's finished. Income protection, you can, as long as you're paying your premiums, you can claim on that as many times as you need to.
Wow. See, I did not know that, and I say that a lot when we do our lives. But you're kind of thinking, I need to get cover just in case of any eventuality. So I'm going to take out life cover. All right. And you think, do you know what? That's going to cover me then, just in case I get ill or I die or whatever. I personally did not know that you had to have all these different types of. There's not one. I'm thinking one is what you need. That covers, that fits everything. But what you're saying is that's not the case.
That's right. Yeah, there's different products for different purposes. And again, that's why it's so important to go through it with someone such as a life insurance advisor rather than just going online, because, you know, you don't really know what you sign up for. You're just going for, you're more driven, you're going for the cheapest. But is that beneficial? Is that doing what it needs to do at the time when you need it to?
So let me ask you a question then. I'm now asking you, a layperson asking you, okay, how could I start an income protection insurance? When does it kick in? Does it like I sign in today and it kicks in 5 months' time or straight away? What's the scenario for that? Because I'm thinking for people who...
Yeah.
Well, so there's a question right there as well, Shah. So we can, anybody, if you've got any questions, do put them in.
This is the time to bring them out. We've got Shah here, so believe me, let's give her some hard work.
Yeah. So we'll get to this question in a moment, and Shah will try her best to answer that for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no problem. So you asked I've forgotten the question now. Remind me.
Okay, the question was, I want income protection. I sign for income protection. When does that kick in? Because I am thinking about those people who are, you know, who have COVID, or they're seeing that there are threats to their jobs and so on, and they need to have some kind of backup.
Yeah.
And, you know, that is such an important thing that we never speak about.
Yeah, right.
So when does that kick in, if and when I sign today?
There's no one size fits all. So there's different products and different providers. As I mentioned, well, I probably didn't say in the beginning of this bit, but I have access to what's called whole of market. So whole of market means that it's not just one insurance provider that I'm taking out your policy with. I'm looking across the board to see what the best policies are for you on the whole of the market that's out there, which means every single provider has their own versions, their own terms and conditions, depending on your individual circumstances. So I'm matching you to the policies that are out there underneath different providers to see what's the best that fits your need. So answer to that question is there's no one size fits all, but what you would find is that some of them may do like a 6 months period for you to be in actually paying your premiums every single month, and you're able to claim. Some of them say you can claim from day one. It all really depends on the type of income protection you've taken out. The main thing is that there's a deferred period. So what deferred period means is that you will sign up to say for example, you have sick pay and it lasts 3 months. You can say that I would like a deferred period on how soon my monthly benefit starts, and that could be the 12 weeks, 3 months. So you would say, I know I'm going to get sick pay, but it's only lasting 3 months. I don't want to be after that 3 months thinking I have to rush back to work now, even though I haven't healed yet, or you feel you want more rest time. When that deferred period ends and that sick pay ends at the 3 months, that deferred period kicks in 12 months, 12 weeks, you start to receive that money for 1 or 2 years, depending which income protection you've signed up for. It just means time of when it starts, because it may last you a bit longer. You've got a bit more time to play with that way.
So will that is that a period where it covers you? Are you paid then? Or is the payout the same as what you would perhaps receive in your salary? Or will or is it just the sickness side of it, the sick pay side of it, as to what your employer would give you?
Yeah. So as I mentioned before, everything that's done is around your affordability. So we first look at how much you paid annually, and then we look at matching the monthly benefit to your monthly income. So so make sure that if whatever happens, you know that you're covered with what you normally have coming in. That's coming in as part of your monthly benefit. So once that sick pay, got that money coming for a year to 2 years period, depending which one you sign up for.
I mean, it's amazing what you're saying there, because I wouldn't even know that, and I'm sure there's a lot of people like myself who are perhaps working, and right now, I mean, this is the most prime time really to be speaking about this, Char, because there's so many people out there that are worried and saying that I've got to go back to work. I am not really feeling well, but I've got to go back to work to pay my bills, okay? And do not even know that they could access, insurance that could perhaps cover them.
Give them some respite.
And give them some respite, knowing that,
give them some time to recover and a little backup to do so.
In. So, I mean, why is this not widely known? I mean, it seems like you always have to be delving, and if we're not speaking to wonderful experts like yourself to share this information, we would not know about this unless you're speaking to a friend or family.
You hear it by chance, and so this is the kind of thing that's so important.
I mean, education is really not there, and it's almost like only when something's happened within the family that somebody looks for life cover or thinking about life cover when it may be too late. We see so much GoFundMes, and that's because often we think after the event instead of pre-planning before the event. So the education's not really there around the life cover within our community, I feel. But I do feel that if you think of the advertisation, if you think of the adverts that's out there, you see advertised to more a mature person. Life. That's why you'll find that the younger generation don't really think it's for them. They think it's for something for my auntie or my mum or to worry about, not me. If we put life cover in place when we're younger, it's actually cheaper, much cheaper. The policies that I can put in place for somebody who's in their 50s is completely different to what I could put in place for someone in their 20s, where they could be getting exact same benefit out of it, exact same amount of payout, because obviously there's a sum assured, which is the payout amount. That could be exactly the same, and they could be paying completely different amount. And that's purely because one now have health conditions, the high blood pressure and the diabetes and all the things that come into play when we're older. The younger person is not seen as such of a risk because they don't have these health conditions, for example. So and to get it in cheaper when you're younger, when you don't, before you even have kids. Some people say, I don't have children to worry about. What about later on in life? Get it in place early, and then you don't have to worry about it later on.
That's good to know. So young people, so encourage our young people, as 18 or whatever, to start thinking about or getting life insurance, because it will be cheaper for them, or at least discuss the different types of life cover that they should be looking at.
Yeah. That doesn't mean that if you're older you can't get it, or I only can offer you high premiums. It just means that the younger you do it, the better for you, because we're all going to age eventually, right? So get there early. You make it work in your favor and get in there early. But people who are older, they may have to consider, now that you have a health condition, or now you may have, I don't know, a higher BMI or whatever it may be. I'm smoking. These will have an impact on the type of premium that you have. So what the provider will do is add what's called a load-in to the premium that for you. So they'll have a standard premium that I put your details in the system, and a premium will come up for me. And then due to your health condition, your BMI, your smoking, these elements, once this information is shared with the provider, that's another thing about non-disclosure as well, which I'll come to in a minute. Once the information is shared, they may add the load-in. And that load-in, additional level of protection. They may see that you're a bit more higher risk, so need to add an additional load in a certain amount. And some people may want to avoid saying that and say no on the application, and not share and disclose information is valuable to what type of products they're available to them, or their premium. The disadvantage of doing is if the time came later on and down the line, and that person was to pass away, and it was something closely related to something that they could have disclosed but they didn't, such as they were smoking, so they had lung cancer or something like that, for example, and it was closely related to their smoking habits, then the life insurance provider can decide, well, we're not paying out because this person did not disclose that there was a smoker.
Did not look after themselves,
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna ask you, if you can, the question. Coming back to the person that's posed this question below, are these insurances? I'm sure they're wanting to say covering the jab. I mean, can you give us any light on that?
Well, covering the jab, no. Covering you, I guess. It's not going to cover the jab. It's more about do you have COVID? So there's certain questions as part of that application that asks you, do you have COVID? Have you had COVID-related illness in the last how much months? COVID and recovered? Have you had to self-isolate? It asks all these questions, and then this will decide if you can continue with the application. So at that point, you will know straight away whether you can receive cover or not. It may ask you to wait. It may say that the decision is to defer this application till 6 months to see cover, or it may say we cannot provide cover at this time. It all depends. Every provider is completely different, depending on their risk value, how they, that risk averse they are. But the questions are laid out in a way as an algorithm to capture what they cover and what they will not cover. So once you are, again, that disclosure, having that discussion with the insurance advisor and answering those questions will then be able to identify whether you can get cover at that time. It may just be that you may need to wait a while and then do the cover later on, because it takes in consideration very much here and now, just like you mentioned about being a smoker. Yeah. So I'm a smoker today, but I don't smoke next year. If I go for the quote today, it's massive difference compared to next year when I say no, I don't smoke. So that's what we're in consideration, exactly the same as COVID. Yeah, so it's looking at into consideration of where we are right now. So it may just say to defer it. It may say it can't provide cover due to other factors you may have, such as, I don't know, maybe a health condition before, or you smoked, or you had high BMI, and then you've added something else on around COVID. It may think that's too many factors of a risk to provide cover for you right now. So it really does depend on the individual.
Okay, wow. That's interesting to know.
Wow.
So at the end of the day, I would surmise then that you need to, would you say it would be a good thing for people to kind of really revise, or to really go back and have a check on exactly what kind of insurance that they've got presently, or to at least sort of have a look, revisit it, and sort of, based on the information that they've received now, just revise it and say, is that right now the right one for them?
Yeah. Well, I hear what you're saying. I think it's about people thinking about when they took out the cover, was you 100% sure what you took out? Was you confident what you took out? Is what I'm saying right now making you ring alarm bells? If yes, give me a call. You book yourself your
That's
consultation.
what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to
No.
say.
Yeah.
Because, sorry, sorry to interrupt, but that's what I want to say. Because I have thought about, my insurance prior to this conversation today. And I wanted to check with them as to what I'm doing. So I'm going to go and check with them to find out what it is that I have and so on, because I've insured for both myself and Lorraine. So now I'm going to go back to them to have a look at what I've got, get that on paper, then I'm going to come to you. Yeah. And I think it's incumbent on everyone to get insured and to ask the right people the right questions, and to ask you to come to you and say, what is it that I've got, or what can I get? So she's all about the money. It's about helping you to save your money to ensure that you don't lose out and make the best of your money to work for you.
Yeah,
that's right. You want to make sure when that time does come, the money's doing what you've always hoped it to do. You're spending every single month that premium. So you want to know that when the time comes, it's actually what you want it to be doing. And also, thinking about when the policy is in place, often people think they can just get the policy and that's it. You also want to consider putting it into trust. And the reason why I say you should consider putting it into trust, because it then avoids having inheritance tax taken off it. So anyone who has any estate, any asset you have, is subject to inheritance tax when someone passes away.
Are you talking the actual insurance? Put that in
that's money. Yeah.
The insurance, that. So that has to be mentioned. That has to be added to a trust.
Wait a minute. Can we talk about trust next time around?
Always us, Lorraine, unfortunately. Many people signed up and not said, put this into trust. You don't hear that. It's often they've got the sale and they're off they're gone, and you're left with your life insurance thinking that. It doesn't mean the family gets the money, but it means it's not as straightforward to get the money. It means you name the beneficiary who's then controlling the funds on your behalf in your absence. And it also means that the money will be subject to inheritance tax, which is what any state will be subject to when someone passes away.
Right.
So wait. My turn. I have too many questions. My turn. Right. So trust. Can you help people with creating a trust?
If someone's taken out a life policy with me, that is part of my aftercare. So once you've done your life cover with me, I would advise you what to do to put your trust in place. That's part of what I do.
I'm coming to you.
It's important.
People, it is so important.
Yeah, new policies always use either one. I can insist that.
Yeah, because that is so important. I'm just saying to you, you guys have been working hard to maintain the status quo. You pass away, unfortunately. It happens. We live, we breathe, we eat, we die. Circumstance, life circles. But the thing is, you've been paying tax from day one. When you pass away, you're going to pay more tax? Or are you going to find a way in which legally you can save that money and hand it over to your children because it's in trust? So we have to organize ourselves to not give away 40% of what we own after we done pay for it, right?
Exactly.
It belongs to us. 40% of £100,000, £40,000.
Yeah,
some of you have houses worth a lot more than that. Some of our parents who bought houses in Hackney for £19,000 and are now worth, 700,000 and so on. Imagine paying that to the government. So we need to look at trust.
We
and
do.
I think that's something that we have to look very carefully at.
But coming back, obviously that the trust thing is very important. And what you mentioned there, Char, about making sure you do mention and make sure that any insurance that you got, that's also in trust and mentioned as well. This is just such a a minefield. And I suppose like most of us, you hear, go and speak to an advisor about which one, and you're thinking, what do I need an advisor for? I just need cover. You know what I mean?
Right.
There you go. I'm covered. I'm paying X amount a month. Okay. And that's going to cover me for any eventuality. But in effect, what you're saying is that there's more than one insurance. Now, my thing is, how many insurances do we need? And isn't that going to be rather expensive to pay per month?
Well, first of all, I just want to go back to what he mentioned there about the trust, just to say that often people think life insurance as life insurance, which it is. It's protecting your life, giving you peace of mind. That's what you're buying. But remember, that's money. So don't think of it as a policy. Think of it as money, because that's what it is. You're paying for a guaranteed payout when you pass away. So think of it as money. When you think of it in that sense, you recognize why it needs to go into trust, because it's money. There's a value there. That helps us to kind of think of it in a valuable way. So yes, how many policies do we need, and how much it's going to cost? There's a lot of the question asked. How much is it going to cost? Remember last time talking about people who have £90 per month for their Sky TV.
Yes.
Sky TV on average costs you £1,800 a year.
You know, it's
Just saying. As with
Just saying.
It's, it comes down to what is important to you. Yeah, what is important to you. It's not going to cost that. So don't. Yeah, I'm not saying that. But what I'm trying to say is, some people have things in their budget that they don't even blink an eye at, and they're not even using it often. Right. But then when it cover, you're scrutinizing every last penny. This is your life. You know, all of us should have life cover. And as I said, it's purchasing that peace of mind. Is knowing that anything happens, every day is a gift, right? So anything that happens at any, that is in place. Your loved ones are protected, and you don't have to worry at all. They don't have to worry. They can give you the that you deserve. You know, you can have money left over to them that could build generational wealth. You know, that's giving opportunity to, like you said to you about the properties in the family, giving opportunity for our young ones to start, you know, buying their first property, have payout from that money to do that in your name, that legacy left behind, you know, getting property or starting their business or whatever it is, paying for their wedding. You know, there's so much that money can do.
There's so much, yeah.
Guys,
if you do have any questions, keep them flowing. We've only got Char for a certain period of time. So as we're talking, we will monitor and see what your questions are, and we'll pose them and put them through to Char. But Char, to come back, we've got some lovely slides that you wanted to share with us. I don't know in what way and how you'd like to go through and speak about them. Possibly.
I guess most of it kind of covered already, but we can go through the first. It's stats, and people love a bit of stats.
Right. Okay. The first slide.
Yeah. I guess it kind of helps you if you just go to the first one. It helps you to put it into reality.
Yeah.
So
the next one, the second. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So it was a survey that was done by an organization called Smart Insurance, where they surveyed 2,000 people, 2,000 adults in the UK, and they found 46% of them do have life cover in place, while 54% don't have life cover in place. So you can see from that alone that there's more people that do not have it than don't have it. And that's an issue. It should be the other way around, or if not all of us. And then within that figure of those 2,000 people, they found that 80% of them had not even given it a thought. So their decision for not having it in place is because they just haven't thought about it. And I think earlier, you know, when you're saying why we're not knowing this information, is because it's not something that's seen as priority. We more want to focus on the here and now and that instant gratification and things that we're enjoying in this current, rather than thinking about our future goals. So this is something that, you know, once you've got it in place, you have that peace of mind. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to think about it anymore. It's happening. It's in the background. You pay your month. Obviously, if you're paying your premium, it's still in effect. Yeah. Once you don't have to worry about it, you can enjoy the here and now. But it's about that first. And we're not thinking about it enough.
Okay. Next one.
The second slide. Third one, sorry. So 30 out of the same people, 33% felt that they knew enough about life insurance, and that shows that there's a larger amount of people that don't know enough. So if you don't know enough, that will show you that that's why you don't have it. You know, if you don't know enough about something, or you don't give it any value, or you're not given the right information about it, then you're not going to see the purpose of having it. So only 33% of people feel that they know enough about it. This is obviously out of 100%. And then 31% said that it's not spoken about enough. So, you know, within their social groups, whether they're, you know, family network, they're not about this enough. And again, as I said earlier, it's often when situations take place, the worst has happened, that's when we're thinking about this. about life cover, about how we're going to get the money together to give our family members the send-off they deserve. And this is why we've seen a lot of GoFundMes within our community. So if enough of these conversations are taking place, enough actions being taken to put systems in place, then when that time does come, as I said before, you know, you're not having to worry about it. And then putting that pressure of the loss of a loved one, and then still having to thinking about, you've got the emotional loss, but thinking about that financial stress as well. It's, you know, putting it all at the same time, which we know no one wants to do. So I'm not saying that's what we're doing on purpose, but that's the outcome. That's the reality of what's happening.
Yeah.
Families are torn apart, you know, thinking about how they're going to raise the funds.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we have 44%. The last one on that was 44% amount of people that thought they know what factors may impact their policy. So like we spoke about before, thinking about your BMI, your weight, thinking about the smokers, your health conditions, pre-existing in the family bloodline. They feel that they know enough about that, 44%. But then obviously that leaves the 56% that don't feel they know enough. So again, if you don't know, then you're just signing up for what the cheapest rather than the best, you know, the best quotes out there. So the other ones are really much covering what we've said already today. So I mean, I'm happy to fly through them if you want to. Should we continue?
Yeah, let's continue for everyone.
Just quickly fly
through them.
So people can see. But
Okay.
Yeah.
So these are just some myths that I've come across and I've heard since I've been providing life cover. So the first one, I am young and I do not need to worry about life insurance. So as I mentioned earlier, the younger you take out your life cover, you're more healthier. So that will equal lower premiums for you. You know, it's having that healthier lifestyle, that less of those health conditions that's piling in with the high blood pressure and you know, your BMI going up, diabetes, the sort of things that you're prone to be diagnosed with at a later stage in life. When you're younger, you don't have that as a risk. So then the provider sees you as a low level risk and able to give you those lower premiums. So thinking that you're too young to worry about it is a myth. And also recognizing that we're all going to gain age at some point. So why not put it in place from now, what we're waiting for, while you can. And the last one there was about level term. So level term policy means your premiums remain the same. So some people may think that getting it younger, when you're healthier, and then later on down the line you have health conditions, your premiums will go up. But as long as you get what's called level term, your payments remain the same, regardless of your circumstance. You're almost getting in there before the change takes place.
Okay. Am I a little bit behind you or ahead of you?
You're ahead.
Ahead of me. So what on there? Okay, next one. So you got the never last until you die. I think you might have missed one there. The next one. I've heard that life insurance usually does not pay out. Can we go to that one? Yeah, there we go. Thank you.
There we go.
So yeah, this is another myth that I've heard. Life insurance does not pay out. And again, that's down to what we mentioned before about that non-disclosure. Is there something that you should have mentioned that you didn't at the time of taking out your policy? And then later on down the line, that's become an issue or something that's shown up that caused death. And then that person is then not guaranteed their payout that they've been paying towards every single month.
Yeah.
So when people say, what do I disclose? If you go through a life insurance advisor, you won't have to worry about that because we ask the right questions to get that right information. However, think about, what does your GP know? Yeah, what's written on your GP notes? You know, is anything around your BMI, about your pre-existing health conditions, any advisory information around, you know, emotional well-being, anything like that? What's on your records that your GP knows? That's the kind of information that you need to think about when you're taking out life cover. And then you're thinking at you then later on in life. So lifestyle habits should be disclosed. You know, thinking about your smoking habits, if you're into risky sports, anything like that should be disclosed. And again, a life insurance advisor will know what questions to ask to cover everything you need to think about.
Okay.
So the next one, I have a health condition, no one would insure me. So no matter what your circumstances, there is a cover for you. Yeah. So again, a life insurance advisor can help you to find the type of cover that is available for you. Having access to what's called whole of market means that we have access to comprehensive cover. So different providers have different specialities and different appetites for different types of people and different health conditions. So going through the process with a life insurance advisor will help us to see what will benefit you and see what kind of policies are available for you for your individual needs. So that's looking at your health conditions, again, the age, your lifestyle habits, all of that to take into consideration to think about what type of providers are best for you to have a cover with at that time. So there's a few names there, just throwing names in there. There's obviously loads more, but these are ones that many people are familiar with.
Yeah,
I do not,
So,
just on that note, I just want to add, we do not add any kind of additional amount of money on your monthly premium to get paid. Some people feel that that's probably what happens. We get paid straight from the provider themselves. So I'm acting as a middleman. And by providing you with a cover and providing them with a customer, they pay us directly. So there's no additional charge on your premiums at all for putting your policy in place.
okay.
This will go for this one, and then maybe leave the other two because we covered that.
We've gone through that one in terms of whole term, life assurance. Yes, so yeah,
that's good. Yeah. All right.
Remember, earlier was term assurance and how long it lasts. So when we look at cover, we're looking at the sum assured. That's the amount of money that you want to be the payout. There's not one set amount, so you decide that. How long you want it to last for. So that sounds crazy. When you say how long, you think obviously until I die. But then there's term insurance and what's called whole of life. Whole of life is always a lot more expensive than term insurance. So I often advise clients to look at seeing if they can get term insurance for as long as possible first before considering whole of life. And whole of term insurance goes up to age 90. You can get a policy in place up to the age 90. And for critical illness, it goes up to age 70.
Oh, interesting. Okay. That's very good to know. Wow. That's even more questions. So there you go. So everybody, did you hear that? So whole life means 90, up to 90 years of age.
Whole of life is whole of life.
Whole of life is whole of life.
Yeah.
And term
up to 90.
And then critical illness
is up to age 70.
Only age after 70, that's
you're not working, presumably.
You're not working, presumably.
So
well, it's because you're more higher risk at that point to have a critical illness. That's what it comes down to. So you can take it up to, so if something happens up to age 70, you can get your payout. But after that, it just ends.
So here's a question then, in terms of the payouts and so on. You're paying your insurance over a protracted period of time. Is there, like you've arrived at a particular point, like you've decided 25 years, you've arrived at that 25-year period, do you get any money back, or your insurance has to start from day one again if you start after the 25-year period that you agreed to? What's that situation? 25
years. So you mean, like, say, for example, you took it out and it lasted up to age 70, for example?
Yeah.
So there's other conditions there. You can either think about getting what could be used to kind of change it. It can change from a term insurance to a whole of life. If you wanted to, you can look at that. Or that would have to be decided at the time of taking it out. Or it will just end at that point. Now, often people feel uncomfortable with that when they think of it's just ended. What if I haven't died? I've wasted all that money. But is it really a waste? Yeah. Did you know you passed that age?
Yeah, what would exactly. Exactly. But
having that in place to that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, here's a question for you from one of the members. How long does it take for your family to receive the money in the event of death?
So that for us, that could happen very quickly because the information is clearly stating who is the beneficiary and who's the person who's in control of that money when you pass away. That person will be the one who takes control to contact an insurance provider or contact your life insurance advisor, such as myself, because I can assist you, to get in touch with the provider. And then once you've gone through the information of providing your death certificate and the proof of who you are, then that money can be issued to you straight away.
So as long as
who should be receiving the money.
As long as the person passes of natural causes, then there shouldn't be an issue. In case people are wondering, how long does it take to get paid? Yeah. So the person has to die of natural causes, heart attack or whatever. But
not necessarily. But
not causes, but just not a suicide, for example, someone taking their own life.
Okay. Right. Okay. Understood.
Right. Okay, so this is another question here. Should the case be straightforward, how long does it take for the family to receive the life insurance in the event of death?
I think we just answered that.
Yeah. So if everything's straightforward, it is.
That's correct. Yeah. So as long as you do your supposed to do, put your trust in place, all that sort of thing, then yeah, that it should be very straightforward and quick. As I said, as long as the beneficiary is the one trying to, access that money.
Okay.
Right.
So in terms of the policy, the practical aspect of the policy, should the family know what the policy is? Because had that person passed away and they stuffed the policy behind the radiator and house has been redecorated and everything and policy
Or in
gone,
an email.
yeah. So should there be a place in which the policy should be found? Yeah, can be found in the event of.
Yeah, I mean, the policy itself, it'd be great if you have access to it, but it's not necessarily an end of the world if you can't find the policy. It's more about the person who is listed a beneficiary to know their position. So they would be part of signing on that trust form to know that they are a beneficiary. So having a copy of that they can provide be great. Having a copy of the insurance would even be great if they sent it again, like in an email that Lorraine mentioned. But just knowing who they're with is enough to make that telephone call. All they're on their system. So that's enough to get started.
Yeah,
okay.
That is amazing. That's really good to know. Really good to know. I mean, you've shared some wonderful nuggets of information, really big nuggets this tonight, because there's a lot that I certainly did not know, and I'm sure quite a few people did not know.
Yeah, and I'm going to check on my insurance, so I'll be calling you pretty soon. Yeah, I'll be asking for my. Yeah, I think people, seriously, joke apart, I think if you haven't got insurance, please check Char out. She's all about the money. Get it sorted. If you have got insurance, check Char out to see what it is that you've got. See if you can get better, because she has access to all insurance companies.
Yeah. Exactly.
What we do, generally speaking, I can speak for myself, that you are attracted to the advert, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it provides you with what you require. What it does, it tells you that it's something in the back of your mind that you want to correct. But if you're going to do it correctly, speak to an advisor directly who will give you the advice you need to take care of your needs.
Yeah.
And that's very important.
Yeah, I don't think we should shy away from talking about the eventualities of life and making sure the house is in order, so that everybody else is not really having to deal with that. And also as well for your own self, as Char said earlier, if you're ill, and it's no fault of your own, and you're worried about work and getting pressures to come back to work when you're not 100%, there are things there that can be in place that can trigger that you get, some form of benefit and payment whilst you're still in recovery. So I think we really do need to take this seriously. But I will just say this is the last question that's just popped up there, Char, and I know it's getting very late now. What if the beneficiary is under the age of 18?
Mm-hmm. So if someone's under the age of 18, then you have also trustee on it as well. So the trustee will be the person that will then control the funds, and it has to obviously be an adult. And then the beneficiary can be list of your children. And then in that, you're just mentioning to be maybe say divided equally between my 3 children, for example, and the listing of the beneficiaries. The beneficiaries can be as many as you need it to be, but the trustee, they're usually required to be 1 person. You can have 2, but they're usually required to be 1, just because there's less conflict at that time when the time happens. You're not around. So having 1 trustee who knows that on this trust that they've signed as well, it states that who the beneficiaries are, then they can obviously support them to get access to that money at that time.
Okay, but guys, we're not losing Charlene at the moment, but it's just the lighting is just going. But we're wrapping up soon. But, again, you're gonna be
put on your light. Put your light.
Put your light on quick.
Put on your light.
It's fine.
Yes. So people, I think what we have to do, we have to be aware that insurance is about providing. That's wonderful. That's
wonderful.
Yeah, it's about providing something for our next of kin. And if we get the right insurance, then we have a better chance of providing them with something that is meaningful to them.
Yeah.
So,
indeed.
you know, let's look at that very carefully. But also remember, insurance isn't only about your death. It is about accidents that may happen at your workplace, covering that. Aspects of your life in which you get cover for. So don't think of it as insurance is about my life insurance. It is about many other things. But communicate with Char so that she can give you an idea of what you may require or things that you don't even know that we haven't even discussed.
Yeah, exactly.
There are so many.
Yeah, but we will have her back. But so we're aware of time and so on. It has been really interesting gaining all this information from you, Char. Guys, as you can see, her information is up there for you. And it's the beautiful Char Hibbert.
Can you share the link? I don't think you shared the link for people to book a call.
All right, give it.
Oh, here we are. This one?
Okay, yeah, we can do it via that, yeah.
Okay, people, grab your pens.
And we're going to share
It's going to stay there for a little while. Grab your pens and we will share it on the group info as well. Char, can you do the same? Share it on the group info so that people can quickly click onto it and get onto it. We do apologize. We should have put that on earlier. Do apologize. There's only two of us and one of us is doing all the hard work.
But we will definitely be putting that in.
So, you know, it's what we are. It's what life is.
Yeah. But it's been a great evening, Char. Thank you very much again for coming along and sharing with the members. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be thinking or looking at their policies, their insurances, or reviewing them at least. And hopefully they then come to you, just to get a bit more advice. Okay? But it's been a pleasure once again having you with us.
Thank you. Char will be returning. Yeah. We will give you the dates and so on, and we'll be talking about the things that you need to know. So we're here every Monday, 8 p.m., and we will pass on all the details that you need in our chats. And Char, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
We are really humbled by your experience. Thank you.
Thank you, and we'll see you again soon. Everybody, thank you very much for joining us tonight, and we look forward to seeing you next week. And have a blessed week, all of you. Thank you.
Take care. Blessing to you all.
Blessings.
Thank you, Char. Bye.
Bye.